These TikTok conspiracy theories may send you down every possible conspiracy theory rabbit hole known to man. If you don't believe me, just watch.
Lil Nas X collaborating with Jesus Christ, with him crucified on a cross, and then he transforms into an angel. What I'm getting is that this is some big marketing stunt from Lil Nas X as he releases gospel music on Friday. And for those who are about to say he's mocking God, he already responded to that. He said the crazy thing is nowhere in the picture is a mockery of Jesus. Jesus' image is used throughout history and people's art all over the world. I'm not making fun of anything. Y'all just gotta stop trying to gatekeep a religion that was here before any of us were even born. For those who aren't caught up, Lil Nas X is one of the most famous musicians in the industry, and he said he's turning to God after the industry tried to make him satanic. He said he's been with the cops 24/7 because on Friday he's about to reveal what the industry did to him. Now, I don't know what's going to go down on Friday, but if you're trying to advertise your new gospel song, crucifying yourself on the cross is a bad start in my opinion. Jesus Christ should be the only one on that cross. Look, I don't know what the guy's been through, but I guess we'll see what's going to go down on Friday, and I'll keep you guys updated.
This dude creeps me out. I got nothing else to say about it. I'm gonna leave it right there.
They make Stonehenge. Those rocks are nowhere in the region. And how do you move the blocks? They were carted. They found a place where those rocks would have been mined.
Isn't less impressive because they're just big. Like what the thing about the pyramids that's so impressive is the precision and the sheer numbers. 2 million, under 100,000 stones.
Our best understanding of Stonehenge is that it's a functioning observatory that can actually predict eclipses. So I just got
a functioning observatory that can predict eclipses? How? How does it predict eclipses?
Oh, Stonehenge is not impressive. It's just big stone. They're lined with the solstice.
Right.
There are holes that are not stones, but they're 56 holes, which is 3 times the Saros, which is the cycle of eclipses, of the matching of the orbits of the sun and the moon in the sky, the paths of the sun and the moon in the sky. And when they match up, you get an eclipse.
Really?
When you're all alone watching TV in your living room, who's watching back? Sounds like something out of Black Mirror, right? Well, if you're unlucky enough to be targeted by the CIA, then it's very real. What I'm talking about is called Project Weeping Angel, and this comes from the Vault 7 WikiLeaks. Weeping Angel is a form of malware that infects TVs and turns them into remote listening devices that record your private conversations and send them back to the CIA for analysis. The malware is persistent, and it even works when your TV appears to be off. So if you've been affected...
Since when does my TV has a microphone that it picks up audio instead of just sending it out?
There's almost no way of knowing. Even though it's scary, I think this is just another thing that everyone should know about.
Now I feel like I need to research to see if it's even real. Because he could have just been weeping lying on this dang old internet.
For the past couple of weeks, there have been several videos of ships crashing into places, just like you see in the movie Leave the World Behind. But I guess that one of the creepiest and strangest videos of all is this one that I'm going to show you guys right now. Check this
out. Bro, y'all can't... It seemed like he's far enough back to where y'all can get away. Avoid him hitting you. Y'all just gonna stay in place? Or are y'all stranded and can't move? What's going on? Hey! He has to see them. Hey! He has to see them. That boat is coming right at them. Oh, now they want to move? Now they want to move.
Oh, they're going to go right over them, dude. They're down. They're down. Hey!
Strange, right? There are divers down there. They can't get out of there. And, well, it's strange enough, but it gets even stranger.
Oh, the divers under... Oh, right. Okay. Now I see what's happening. Yeah, they're going to go right over the divers.
There's nobody in there. There's nobody on deck. There's nobody in the wheelhouse.
What? That's crazy.
Mirrors do not show us a fourth dimension, but they do show us what a fourth dimension could do to us.
What?
First, notice that some things are the same as their mirror image, but some things are not. These two shapes are similar, but they cannot be rotated to look identical, to be superimposable on each other. This is called being chiral. A chiral shape and its mirror image are called enantiomorphs.
Oh, wow.
These two shapes are enantiomorphs in 2 dimensions. No amount of 2-dimensional rotations will ever make them superimposable. To do that, I'll need to smash one of them inside out, turn it into its own mirror image, or rotate it in a third higher dimension. If I place a sticker here and face that side away from me, notice that the mirror inverts the object just like a rotation through a higher dimension can.
Wow.
The side of the real object that's furthest from me becomes the side of the virtual object that's closest to me. So what would I look like if I was rotated around a plane in a fourth spatial dimension? I would look like that.
Alright, y'all, before we move on to the next clip, I'm happy to announce that this video is sponsored by none other than my favorite men's face care brand, Tej Henley. You've been thinking about taking better care of your skin, but you have no idea where to start? Look no further. I got the answer for you. Tej Henley. This is what I've been using for the past 3 years to make my skin look as good as it does for a 36-year-old man. I know I don't look like it, but hey, you know, you feel me? Anyway, I recommend y'all start with that level 1 system that gives you everything that you need and nothing that you don't. Inside, you get the daily face wash. You get an AM moisturizer with SPF 20. You also get a PM moisturizer to keep your face hydrated throughout the night. And my favorite, the 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get all that dirt, buildup, and grime out of your pores. Now, I know having a skincare regimen as a man doesn't seem like a must. I used to think the same way too, but I cannot begin to express just how much my confidence has improved now that my skin has cleared up. And if you can't take my word for it, head over there to their website. They got over 5,000 5-star reviews from customers all around the world. And because you're watching this video, they're offering you guys a great deal. Just click that link down below and you get 30% off your first order and a free gift. Click that link right now and get started today.
It appeared that the mystery of who built Derinkuyu would have to stay a mystery. The site, just another unexplained marvel of the ancient world. The real problem which prevented scientists from giving a definitive answer on who built Derinkuyu was that the volcanic rock it was carved out of could not be carbon dated, since it was stone and not organic material. The only thing scientists knew for sure was that it had been used for thousands of years by those looking to hide, changing hands and being used by different groups, who each likely added to the work of the last, all the way until the 1920s, when the site was officially abandoned after ethnic Greek populations were deported following the Greco-Turkish War. It appeared that the mystery of who built Derinkuyu would have to stay a mystery.
1920 is when everything pretty much changed. They started changing every single thing. They started removing certain parts of the history. They started rewriting the history. 1920s is about that time. Educational system started changing everything. Rockefeller educational system. So if you find books, you want to find books before 1920s. Because if you don't find books before 1920s, you're usually being told a bunch of nonsense. And you look at a lot of the free energy books too, and everything related to the ether. That's before 1920s. The ether was removed from the periodic table after 1908. Every book you look into, it talks about ether and terrestrial magnetism and all of these things. 1908, that was removed off the periodic table. And that was removed so that people would not believe in the ether. They would think it's woo-woo. They would think it's pseudoscience. Those are all terms of the Rockefeller educational system. Coming up with terms to debunk the truth and debunk what we were once connected to. Then when you get rid of ether, you get rid of everything related to the fifth element and the quantum. You get rid of all of that. And then you make up a whole new narrative and you remove all that so that when you can't explain something, you just say, I don't know what it is.
Nah, what else does that sound like? That also sounds like the Mandela effect. Think about it.
It reminds me of a Stanley Kubrick movie called Eyes Wide Shut. If you watch the film itself, it's very eye-opening to like Hollywood culture and the deep dark sort of stuff. Basically, after he watched it with Warner Brothers for the first screening, he was asked to take out a lot of the things from the movie, and he refused. He said, I'm not taking anything out. 6 days later, after the movie came out, it was transferred to the rights of Warner Brothers, and he died mysteriously. That still no one knows. And 24 minutes is unseen, never to be seen, that footage. And the film itself is very...
If Mark Zuckerberg is trying to create an underground bunker, the celebrities are going to space. And I don't mean like a couple here and there. Like, more celebrities are talking about trying to go to space. They're trying to explore and discover the ocean more and more. That should tell you right there, they're trying to outsource. They know something is going to happen. In fact, they told us something is going to happen. You remember that movie that came out, Don't Look Up? And how they basically found that it was a meteor coming to Earth. And the scientists in it was trying to tell them, look, we need to do something about this. And nobody took it seriously until it was too late. It even says on the poster, based on truly possible events.
Based on truly possible events. Dang, it does say that. Yo, that's crazy. I never even paid that no attention. On top of that, I ain't even finished watching this movie. I need to go back and finish watching it.
Like, they have to tell you what's going to happen to kind of prepare you. It's why all of these big name random celebrities are just in one movie. You got Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tyler Perry, Ariana Grande, Meryl Streep in a random movie on Netflix saying how the world is going to end. Even in the movie, it showed how we are as a society. They were more invested into Ariana Grande's character at the benefits concert releasing the song than they were about the meteor. Like I stated, they have to tell you what's going to happen before it happens. Hence how Bird Box was released. Then literally after that, a sickness was circulating around, and they always released it in the last quarter. Bird Box was out December 21st. Don't Look Up was released on Christmas Eve. The 2012 movie was released in like November. And then this new movie, Leave the World Behind, came out in December. The end of the year is like the end of a quarter, so it's kind of like the planning period. And you walk into the new year with this in the back of your mind. Now, this is not to make y'all scared. If it's gonna end, it's gonna end. And no bunker emotion is gonna stop that. It's a wrap. You're just gonna be at peace, play your role, and just get your man back. You just gotta put the pride aside. We're here for a good time, not a long time.
What did he say?
خلال برمي مناشير في 7 يونيو تعال نشوف ايش مكتوب فيها. تحذير عاجل.
Yo, this is kind of like what happened in the movie. Was it Leave the World Behind or something? The Netflix movie where these papers fell out the sky and it was telling you something to do. And right here, this thing supposedly says to evacuate. Why? Are these people gonna listen?
We all know Robert Maxwell was supposedly a triple agent. And one thing that I found recently, Robert Maxwell's printing corporation, the name of it was very interesting. So it was a British publishing house, Oxford-based publishing house, founded by Paul Rosbald and Robert Maxwell, that published scientific and medical books and journals, typically the ones that you would see inside of schools. So these are the guys that are writing these scientific and medical journal books for children, for students, for people who are learning and growing in this country. If something didn't tickle your brain there, I'll repeat it. The name of the press company was Pergamin Press. Now, a lot of the religious folks might see a correlation there. The name Pergamin was the place of Satan's throne. It was the seat of Satan. And that's the name of the place in which the seat of Satan was a reference to the center of idolatry, as Pergamins practiced sun worship, which originated from Babylonian idolatry. But the name of the printing press that he chose to name was Pergamin.
Interesting. And if you know anything about these types of people, they don't just choose these names because they sound cool.
No, exactly. There definitely had to be some sort of agenda behind that with naming the printing press after Satan's throne. Like, there's no way you just name it that and not have some sort of evil intention behind what it is that y'all were doing. Were they promoting and pushing out propaganda using that printing press? I don't know. But I wouldn't put it past them. Conspiracy!
I know the date of when all this is to take place because this movie left all the key date.
Did it?
See, when the movie first starts out, you have a sunrise that is taking place. And then the movie shows this. Now, a lot of people sit here and they watch this and they think that it's a solar eclipse that's happening before your eyes. And no, that is not the case. See, for a solar eclipse, you have to have the moon in between Earth. And for a lunar eclipse, you have to have the Earth between the moon. Which, as you see, you are on the moon and you are looking at Earth with the sun behind it. So yes, that is a lunar eclipse.
Okay.
So you're going to sit here and say, well, Lord Deadpool, there is a lot of lunar eclipses that are due to happen in the next 10 years. Which one is it going to be? And that's where this bad boy comes into play that's at the end of the movie. And there's the date. And here's the message that comes up saying that we've been under attack. There's elevated you know what, and again, there's the date. So here you have it, September 18th,
Wait. September 8th.
2024 is when...
September 18th, 2024. Partial lunar eclipse. So they saying that this is coming September 18th, just 7 days after 9/11 or September 11 of 2024, this year.
Our eclipses to take place, and that message comes out on September 17th, 2024. Now, I would like someone who has a little bit of experience with ham radio to tell me what those numbers are and everything. I know a little bit, and by the way, this number reads out 6.917.850. See, I'm familiar with going up into these channels and the significance of it being like the no man's land. So I'm looking for a little bit of guidance on that. So if you know someone that does ham radio that can help me a little further, then awesome, because I may be saying something that's correct here with that the 40 meters, which is where the 7,000 to 7,300 goes to, is to Somalia, which is that area which their language deals with Arabic, which was the leaflets that were dropped behind that have that message behind there. Yeah, and I showed you what it said. But like I said, I need someone who has ham radio experience to tell me a little bit more about if I'm in the wrong direction or the right direction. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Leave the World Behind, the new Netflix movie, premiered at the AFI Festival on October 25th, and the AFI Fest ran from October 25th to October 29th. And here, sure, if you've seen the movie or heard anything about it, you know that Friends is featured super heavily in this film. In our episode on Matthew Perry, we laid out all the symbolism of how this seemed like an occult ritual. I think this movie makes the case that this is why.
Really?
This is why Matthew Perry was sacrificed. This movie. This movie comes out, he's sacrificed the same week. The whole thing is about friends. Julia Roberts dated Matthew Perry on October 28th, and she was born on October 28th. So he was sacrificed on her birthday during a festival that her biggest movie that she's done in over a decade has come out. So
yeah, that's when I heard that, I was like, oh.
The movie ends with a very stepping into, through a portal, into a new thing messaging. And the first symbol of that is the red hallway. And red hallways in dreams and other things, they're a transitional state, right? At the end of the red hallway, she finds the bunker. And this is where it's going to get weird. So at the end of this red hallway, we see the name of the security system, the shelter.
Commodus Survival Shelters.
Which is not a real company.
Okay.
But Commodus is the name of a Roman emperor who went insane, declared himself a god, and was in a bathtub.
Nice.
So the very end of the movie, transitional state, portal imagery, red hallway, bathtub, ritual sacrifice imagery, and it ends with the last episode of Friends.
How many times have we heard someone being sacrificed for the success of a film or a movie? What? I ain't never heard of such a thing. But that would be messed up. What? But the way that man just laid it out, it's almost hard to disbelieve that. Wait a minute. What does this say? Jennifer Aniston was invited to a ritual in the middle of the valley in California. They laugh and trying to joke so people don't start asking questions. Oh, snap. Let's watch.
Basically, I went and I met all these girls. A couple weeks later, they're like, do you want to come to a circle? And I was like, I don't know what a circle is. And so I... Circle? No.
No.
But they're all in these, they were all in flowy white, gowns, and there was a lot of crystals in the center.
Right. I'll tell you what, I had a CIA agent on my podcast a couple of weeks ago, and it was interesting. I said to him, what keeps you up at night? What have you learned through your past 20 years that genuinely keeps you up at night where you're like, I wish I never knew that, and I'm paralyzed with fear because of this secret that the American public doesn't know? He was like, there's a couple
That's a great question.
He said, the thing that I can share with you, this isn't the number one thing, but this is up there. He goes, the thing that I can share with you is our power grid. We can be put back to the Stone Age, like pre-colonial times, within 5 minutes. If our enemy gets at our power grid, he said our power grids are the most vulnerable power grids of any first world nation. People were able to hack them in a second, and you would have upwards of 100 million people in this country alone within 6 months. He was like, because I'm talking about no power, no water supply, nothing. For 6 months, we would not be able to get it up for at least 6 months. He goes, now we're working retroactively to upgrade
Should we
these
be
things.
saying this?
Well, he said, it's pretty public knowledge to the powers that be. But he said that is a thing that absolutely we are in jeopardy of. He was like, it's not no one's going to us. No one's going to invade mainland USA. He goes, even like it might happen again, but it's not going to debilitate you. He's like, we stop this all the time. We're really, weapons and all that. We're so far ahead of every other country. It's not even close.
Someone's going to come flip a light switch and we're
He
fucked.
said, but that's how they'll get you. There's no reason to have these weapons like this anymore because they can hit our power grid and then we're all and that's what we're vulnerable at, where other countries aren't. He said other countries have taken money and instead of building and tanks, they're upgrading their tech systems that they're impenetrable. So he was like, so that's the thing that keeps me up at night.
Wow. All right, the fact that we could potentially have the weakest power grid of any first world country, and that if it goes down and someone does irreparable damage to it, that for 6 months 100 million people in this country can lose their lives. Let's cross our fingers that one never happens.
I honestly think I'm reading into this headline a little bit too much, but does anyone else think this is weird? So New Hampshire, great state by the way, live here, just created a new bill that bans these. They're actually the second state to do it, with Texas banning them as well. Bill also bans solar radiation modification, geoengineering, cloud seeding and weather modification, and excessive emissions of electromagnetic radio frequency and microwave radiation. For reasons this isn't sitting right with me. Why was it ever legal to do that? And also, what prompted this bill? Because I'm only a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, but this bill also doesn't come up very easily on any search engines, even when I filter for time, and it was passed only a couple days ago. Does anyone else think this is weird?
It makes perfect sense. They're coming to their senses. They're realizing just how harmful these chemicals and radiations are to our internal organs and everything else about our existence.
What is the thing that keeps you up at night now, or what is your biggest fear now after having overcome so many?
There's such a thing as knowing too much. And when you've been married to the president of the United States who knows everything about everything in the world, sometimes you just want to turn it off.
You know too much.
Right. It's like, I don't want to know what was in that folder that you just got that made you quiet. I don't want to know why the security just pulled you over. I mean, it could be any range of things that comes across the desk of the leader of the free world.
I want to know.
Right. So I know a lot about what's going on, and what keeps me up are the things that I know. The war in the region, in too many regions. What is AI going to do for us?
Tell me about the AI, sweetheart. Tell me about the AI. She's talking about the war in the region. She ain't going to tell us everything. Heard screaming outside. Kids, it's too cold to be out there. What they doing?
Environment, are we moving at all fast enough? What are we doing about education? Are people going to vote?
Aliens!
And why aren't people voting? Are we too stuck to our phones? I mean, those are the things that keep me up, because you don't have control over them.
She know good and well she didn't mention all the things that keep her up at night. You know what I'm saying? Wait, that didn't come out right.
I poured it out in my bowl, and out comes this paper that was all folded up just like this.
The note contains a mashup of words and references to current events and conspiracy theories. Miller says his big concern is that somehow a note made its way into a sealed food product.
I don't know what's inside the cereal, or if this note was laced with anything. It's not the note that really bothers me, it's just these notes are found inside.
99% of the phones in the world are being tracked by every single government through push notifications.
Okay, take a deep breath. For this thing to work at all, it has to talk to cell towers, which means the carriers know where you are at all times. And the FBI and law enforcement agencies have a runbook for how to get that data from the carriers often warrantless. When they don't want to go through the carriers, they'll often put up a fake tower called a stingray, and they'll get your location that way. All of that is without GPS, but Google and Apple don't have carrier data. They do have GPS data. Now, a few years ago, they realized GPS could be a little bit unreliable. It could be like a few yards off, and they realized that if they instead used Wi-Fi networks, they could exactly pinpoint your location down to like the inch. So when they map the streets with Google and Apple Maps, they're actually also secretly mapping the location of every Wi-Fi network in the world, so that when your phone gets near any Wi-Fi network, they can exactly know where you are. That location data is then accessed by third-party apps through the phone's permission systems. And then law enforcement and Customs and Border Control will then purchase that data from those third parties.
Wait a minute. I got to turn the brightness up on this one. So you're telling me that Google Maps, when that little Google car with the ball on top with all the cameras was driving around our towns and cities and states, it was actually not only trying to pick up data so that it can make the most accurate GPS for us, but it was also picking up data on our Wi-Fi connection. So if it was close enough so it knows my Wi-Fi name, so if my phone is receiving Wi-Fi signal from my Wi-Fi name, they can get that information and then pinpoint exactly where I am. But what if I'm not at home? Oh, well, they got all the Wi-Fis. If I was at Starbucks, they'll use Starbucks and like, hey, where's his phone? Oh, it's at this Starbucks because of the Wi-Fi. That's messed up.
Ultimately, cash is king. I mean, if you can hold it in your hand, you have power over that. The minute it's all digitized, somebody else is going to have control over that. And it's just a question of, are they going to let you live your life? Are they going to decide to do things to circumvent what you want to do? And think about what we've already seen in Canada. You remember when the truckers were protesting the mandates, you know, they had banks. Some of the government seized, froze some of their banks. You had charities that were trying to help these guys, and that was frozen. So we've already seen government really overstep its bounds as it is in the banking situation and financial sector that we have now. Can you imagine if we went to something like a central bank digital currency? So I'm glad that we're at the tip of the spear on this. I think it's really important that states stand up to fight back against some of the things that are going on, well, most of the things that are going on right now in Washington, because they don't have your best interests at heart. They have their own power at heart. They have their own agenda that they're looking to advance.
Shout out to this man, whoever he is, for fighting a good fight, because we need to stand against this seriously. If they try to make a central banking, if they try to make a currency for the United States, a digital currency, a cryptocurrency that all of us are bound to use, then they could control us even more so than they're already trying to do. We can't let them do it. If they do, shit, I already know a lot of us is gonna hightail it up out of America and go to the next best place.
Hey, who's been paying attention to what's...
Yo, what the freak? What's with all these vehicles? There's a bunch of trucks and tractor trailers and stuff lined up. What's going on?
been happening in Germany?
Germany.
I guess better question is, who's missed it? Because not surprisingly, it's not getting very much coverage here. I guess they don't want anyone getting any ideas, you know what I mean? German farmers have been protesting against their government due to removal of tax benefits, specifically those that would end the tax break on their fuel and agricultural vehicles. This is amounting to a financial impact to the farmers of what they're saying is approximately €1 billion per year.
Yo, this is crazy.
And this is to help resolve a €17 billion deficit due to what the courts have ruled, what the German courts have ruled was unlawful spending.
Unlawful spending? That sounds like an issue with the government, no? Right? The government is excessively spending money, but they want to take it out on the farmers? How unfair is that? Look at these farmers protesting to a magnitude that I've never seen before. They're like, no, y'all ain't about to do this to us. Y'all are gonna hurt us and make it to where we barely make a profit off of feeding our country? Try again. I'm on the protester side. I'm on the farmer side. Forget that mess.
Courts have ruled was unlawful spending of money by their government, So what's the government do? They go, oh, okay. Well, we'll just tax the people to make up the difference.
That's crazy.
Because we don't know how to handle money. Man, does that sound familiar? And this has been their response. You know, recently as a couple of days ago, the German government has come back and said, okay, fine. We will spread the tax impact over some years and allow the farming sector to get used to it.
Wow. That's their answer? That's their response? After these farmers came in and destroyed the town, destroyed the city. Y'all want to be like, okay, we still gonna do it to y'all, just it's not gonna impact you all at once. We'll do it, we'll spread it out throughout the years. That's messed up.
Well, this isn't acceptable to the farming community.
No.
And they are not backing down. They're gonna continue their protests.
As they should, because this ain't right. They're just gonna choose to target the farmers because they think collectively farmers make a whole lot of money. So it's like, ooh, that's where we gonna get our money from. We just gonna tax the farmers. Ooh, that's messed up.
I made a video talking about how, as an American, if I want to be on the right side of history, 99% of the time, the easiest way to do this is just to not agree with anything the United States government is telling me.
Ooh. I like it.
The United States tells me a country's my enemy, it's probably not. The United States tells me somebody's my ally, they're probably up to no good. This is the simplest shortcut to having a pretty good opinion about foreign policy that you as an American can take if you...
Okay, this might be the opinion that I have too. Yes, I'm copying her.
This is the simplest shortcut to having a pretty good opinion about foreign policy that you as an American can take if you don't have time to research things. Fortunately, I do have time to research things. And that is why when this person said, if you don't like it here, you should try going to North Korea, Iran, or Afghanistan, I had to laugh. These are hilarious examples of other countries to choose, and I will explain why. First of all, North Korea, I as an American am not allowed to visit. I think I spent a lot of my childhood assuming this was because North Korea didn't want people going there and seeing what was going on. Actually, people from other countries can and do visit North Korea, but you know who's not allowed to visit North Korea? Americans. And it's not because North Korea won't allow us, it is because our own government will not allow us. Instead, they are content to make sure anything we think we know about the region comes from one source, primarily Radio Free Asia, a fake news source started by the CIA with the expressed goal of being anti-communist propaganda. Any weird story you've heard about North Korea, like that everybody there has to get the same haircuts? Yeah, that probably came from Radio Free Asia, which to this day is funded entirely by the United States government. So, babe, I cannot go to North Korea because the United States will not allow me, because they do not want Americans to see the disconnect between the propaganda machine that they have created, telling you things about North Korea, and what actually happens in North Korea. The second example, Iran, is somehow even more perplexing for you to bring up, because if you know anything, you know that the democratically elected prime minister of Iran was overthrown in a violent coup by the US government. Why? Because he was going to nationalize the oil fields in Iran, and that would mean trouble for American business. So instead, we overthrew him and installed a right-wing dictatorship that was sympathetic to American interests. A puppet government, if you will, that so violated and infuriated the Iranian people that they overthrew our puppet government, dispelled all of the Americans, and put in instead a reactionary government whose main goal was to oppose US intervention in any capacity.
So basically, if you go to Iran, you ain't coming back alive because they don't like Americans after what we tried to pull off. Shit, I wouldn't either.
Everything you don't like about Iran, babe, you don't like because the United States government did it. That's right. My country, the United States, destabilized all of Iran for decades, dismantling their democracy because their democratic voting process led to a result that was not favorable to us. Not exactly the most ethical course of action, if you ask me. And last, Afghanistan. I can only assume you must be extremely young to include Afghanistan on this list, because if you have been alive for nearly as long as I have, I am 37 years old, you will remember actively the United States efforts in your lifetime to destabilize Afghanistan.
I do remember.
The CIA was so heavily involved in Afghanistan, funding and training covert terrorist organizations there to fight against communism in the region, that we actually kind of created a big problem for ourselves. What was it? Say it with me. The Taliban and Osama bin Laden. Yes, all of that came from CIA funding in Afghanistan. Then our government proceeded to bomb the out of Afghanistan in the wars that followed 9/11. We didn't like what we had created, I guess, displacing nearly 6 million people in Afghanistan. So everything you don't like about Afghanistan right now, yeah, that's directly the result also of the United States. This is what I mean when I say, if you want to know what opinion you should take about foreign policy as an American to be on the right side of history, USA bad is the opinion that will get you to the right place 99% of the time. I made a video talking...
Yo, those of us who have something up here inside of this noggin have been feeling some sort of way about our government for quite some time now. And if you want to be on the right side of history, her advice might be the way to go.
So I was cleaning off this car and I saw these crazy little rainbows and I was like, what are those rainbows coming from?
Acid snow.
What? Come here, look at this. Where are these rainbows coming from? What is in the snow that's causing the oily rainbow?
I wonder if it's something in the snow or on the window that's causing these streaks when the snow slides down the window. What do y'all think it is? Comment down below.
The law of money is called the law of water. This is why, incidentally, the Statue of Liberty could not be put on American land. It was put in a harbor because the Statue of Liberty is a maritime admiralty symbol. It's called the Statue of Liberty, not the Statue of Freedom. There's a world of difference between freedom and liberty. Liberty means you ask your father if you can use the car. If he says no, you don't use it. Liberty is what a sailor gets when he pulls into harbor. He asks the captain if he can leave. If the captain says yes, and he most likely is not going to, but if he says yes, it means you have the liberty. You pull liberty. You don't have freedom. America is not the land of the free and the home of the brave. We're not free or brave. We're ill-informed, entertained, and totally ignorant to the powers that be on this earth and how it works. Let me give you an example of how the law of water works. When you go into a court, why do you have to go to court? As I said, you play tennis and basketball on a court. The whole idea in a court is to put the ball back in the other guy's court. So consequently, this team stands up and throws the ball at that team, and that team stands up and throws the ball back over there, and the judge sits here, and that's what he is, a judge. He's the referee. He doesn't care who wins or loses. Somebody's going to pay, and he's going to get paid, so he doesn't care who wins or loses. He's only there to make sure that the game is played correctly. It's called commerce, because the whole world is commerce.
Dang, the way he put that.
Predictive programming is the idea that our governments or our elites, for example, use things like fictional stories, movies, the media, Hollywood, to condition the general public and prepare them for a certain type of future event. In this case, you could say the cyber attacks, right? So the World Economic Forum has been warning us about it. Now we see all sorts of apocalyptic movies coming out about the potential dangers of cyber attacks. And what I'm afraid of is that this is just simply them telling us what they have in store for us next. You know, if you know what the globalist agenda is about, that is an agenda of control, and that they love using crises to take control over our lives, well, a cyber attack is a perfect one to do it. Imagine that we say, well, you know, we need to take down the internet for a while, and it is dangerous, you know, to go on the internet uncontrolled because, look, we are prone to cyber attacks. Everybody now needs a digital identity to log onto the internet safely. You know, you have the perfect pretext to take control again over people's liberties and to monitor ordinary citizens and make their, you know, freedom of movement, even online, limited to whether or not they comply with the government.
There's not much that I need to say to elaborate on what she just said, because I agree with her. On top of that, it's almost like what you're seeing with the automotive industry, how so many of these companies are switching over to EV. Why? For the same reason like we saw in the movie Leave the World Behind, so that they can control the cars. So that the cars will become obsolete at the push of a button. Y'all, I don't like the direction that we're going in.
Survival school. Topography map. What makes this United States military issued topography map of Washington State. So very interesting is dangerous animals, spiders, scorpions, plants, poisonous plants. But now pay attention. There's no editing in this video whatsoever.
Okay.
One take.
I believe you. Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Sasquatch.
What?
Listed under dangerous animals.
What?
So, is that proof that Sasquatch really does exist?
Fascinating.
This is not a trick. It's not an edited video. This is a map that was issued by the United States federal government, Air Force. This is a topography map.
With the city of Khartoum looking more like a free fire zone than the capital of Africa's third largest country, the Pentagon moved special operations forces to a U.S. base in Djibouti, more than 700 miles away, for a possible rescue mission of Americans trapped in the city.
Wait, this is happening now?
Two rival generals are fighting for power, and both have troops armed with tanks, artillery, and anti-aircraft guns, which could threaten any planes sent in to evacuate Americans. Already, more than 330 people have been reported, and a convoy of vehicles from the American embassy fired upon. For the moment, there looks like no good way out. Americans stranded in the city are unable to get to the relative safety of the embassy, and the airport has been the scene of heavy fighting, which has left aircraft burning on the tarmac.
What? I swear I hate war. It almost feels unnecessary to me, just because from a logical standpoint, or for what I view as a logical standpoint, you have two opposing sides. It's the people that run those countries, and then they decide that they want to go at war with the other country, but it's almost like they're selfish and they don't care about the fact that innocent people will lose their lives in the process, whether it's on their side or the other side. People that had nothing to do with it, people that didn't deserve what happened to them. I just don't like it. It's not, I don't agree with it. Also, doesn't matter that I don't agree with it, now does it?
One still water bottle left. This is the one and only one. And everything is empty now. Basic necessities are running thin in the Sudanese capital of Khartoum as paramilitary forces battle Sudan's army for control of the city.
This is our new normal now.
At least 97 people have been so far, with another 365 wounded, despite residents being told to stay indoors for a third day.
Everyone is trying to escape the city, and thus bus is going to Madani, which is south of Khartoum.
For now, the two sides agreed to a temporary ceasefire, with the clash boiling down to a feud between two army generals over plans to transition the country from military to civilian rule.
Wow. That's loud. Sorry. For the headphones listeners.
Going down the Gold Star Bridge. Oh my God!
What in the world is that? 3 cars on fire? What in the world? I wouldn't even want to ride on the bridge. Wow. I hope whoever was in those cars got out safely. Oh my God. Man, this happened back in April. I didn't know nothing of this.
Yo, this is crazy.
A tanker exploded. Wow. I hope there was no casualties.
The freeway is literally on fire.
Yo, this is so crazy. It's like a sea of fish, but without the sea. Or like a river of fish. It's like, hey, the ones that flop out into the dirt, and they're on their last leg, right? They're about to freaking run out of fish air because fish need water. Then when the little river of fish engulfed them, then they're like, oh, cool, I'm back. And I'm gonna flop out again. How is this happening? Just like the other clip, the fish are following them. This is the best fish catching fisherman ever. This is wild. This is crazy. Why isn't there more fish than there is water? I'm so confused right now. I said that backwards. Why isn't there more water than there is fish? How's the news crew out here already to witness this? Is this a common thing for them? It can't be. There's no freaking way. This is sand. This is very dry area. It almost looked like these fish could have been loaded into a truck and then poured out somewhere, and now they're just flowing, and then they send a little water just to keep them going. This is so fascinating. I'm enjoying watching this. I'm sorry, y'all. I was in a trance for a second because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm trying to pinpoint one fish flop. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't see one individual fish flop because I was trying to see that if these fish flopped out of water, did they flop again once they landed on dry land, or did they completely stay there until the flow hit them again and they was rejuvenated with the water? I was just, my mind was stuck. I'm sorry. Okay, so I mentioned in the video that I did earlier with Omar Gosh when he went down to Miami to the Bayside Mall to see what actually could have happened there. I mentioned that, you know, this officer stated there's no aliens in Miami at this time, at this moment. This is my first time seeing that clip. First time with you all. And what he said makes a whole lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? If there were 50 or so kids that were shooting off fireworks and looting, they would need a large police presence down there to handle a situation like that. So it makes sense as to why there were so many cops down there, but we needed to know, why were there so many cops down there? The news was going with the whole theory about the aliens. People was putting conspiracies out online in regards to what they proclaimed happened, but we didn't have no truth. Hopefully this guy was a legitimate source. Hopefully he was a cop that was on the scene at that time, and hopefully what he told us was the truth, so we can put this behind us. But heck, if we find out some more information from maybe some of those shop owners at that mall that actually say, hey, you know, no, there were aliens, then that's the story we're gonna go with.
The Skinwalker dog. It all started in Native American folklore. These stories consisted of witches and evil beings being able to transform into animals. Now let's fast forward maybe 50 to 100 years later, 1996 in Salt Lake City, Utah. The first sighting of a modern day skinwalker on what is now known as Skinwalker Ranch. And from what would become 50 odd some years of strange events and occurrences happening across 3 owners, from mutilated cattle to bulletproof wolves.
The bulletproof wolves. I am not that proficient when it comes to skinwalkers. I don't know a lot about them. He mentioned skinwalker dogs. I knew about Skinwalker Ranch, which was like where the first sighting of a skinwalker was. So I'm assuming that individual that was on that ranch saw what they saw and then they named it a skinwalker. Where did they come up with that name Skinwalker? I still have so many questions. Strange fairy tale creature. Wait, why does this look real? It looks big. And it looks real. No, what the what? It's like a bird cow dog wolf something. I don't know. Is that dirt on your thumb?
Here we have one of the most amazing insects in the rainforest.
It's a bug.
It is an assassin bug.
No, that's a dirty bug. That's what we call them, dirty bugs. They look like they got dirt all over them.
It covered all its body with wood pieces.
Oh, wood pieces.
In order to be camouflaged and hand its prey. So it basically waits in ambush pose, and when an insect gets close, it will hand it. It's just mind-blowing.
Man, imagine being the insect that get eaten by this bug. You'd be like, dang, I just got ate by dirt.
Look at how it's covered.
How is it covered like that? Is it sticky?
Back. Unless it moves, it's really difficult to spot it.
How do you even catch an insect like this? I would think that it would have been impossible to see it. You would have just thought it was a pile of dirt. What in the Bigfoot was that?
I think it's time to go.
Yep. Even the dogs are like, yep, we getting out of here. Dogs do not want no parts of that. Mountain lion walks past live reporter and mistakes it for a dog. How you mistake a mountain lion for a dog? Let's watch.
People are waking up. They're very grateful that things weren't any worse. As far as the damage goes this morning, what you're seeing is actually a dog coming into our live shot. I think it's a dog. I'm not sure, but...
That moment when she said, I think it's a dog, is when she realized that it wasn't a dog. That tail, them ears, is not giving dog. Maybe it's not a mountain lion. Maybe it's something smaller, because I would think a mountain lion is bigger than this. But at the same time, I guess, why she just continued on going about me. She's like, I don't feel threatened at all right now. I don't feel like it's about to attack me. It's probably just going to walk right past me.
I think it's a dog. I'm not sure, but anyway, there's some sort of creature below me, and really all that's been affected is what's supposed to be a road right below my feet, and it's just basically...
That wasn't a dog.
...covered in mud, but other than that, there's not much damage to report. So some great news out of Utah County, but of course a lot of effort that was put into this to make sure none of these communities were affected, and of course the families were kept safe. Jenny Hardman is tracking traffic. We noticed down here that the roads weren't too bad. How are they looking throughout the rest of the day?
Yes, and Morgan, I hope that's a dog too. If not, go get in the truck.
Yeah,
Chase is freaking out. He doesn't think it's a dog, so maybe go check. Thank you, Morgan.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's giving dumb blonde right now. Girl, you don't get the heck up out of there. That was not a dog. That was not a pooch. That thing was a cat of some sort. And you got lucky, because that cat probably just ate and it wasn't bothered by you. It probably wasn't even looking at you like it was like you were food, because he was straight. He just gobbled down the whole deer. Because what?
We're staring at my ceiling right at work, and then like I see this light right, and I go over here.
Yo, who is that looking at her? What's that looking at her? That's crazy. That's crazy. Yo. Oh, that's dope. That is dope looking. Yo, that's so crazy. And it's gone. Nothing there.
Over here, hold on.
Can I open it?
Go on.
A brick wall. They break this door in. What the heck? They don't want nobody getting in or out of this room. What's going on here?
Back.
Oh, Brendan, to be fair though, it's...
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
There's something slash scary weird happened.
Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. What the hell is that?
Yo, what the freak?
What is it?
It's like a...
Yo, that brick wall is double stacked.
A chair.
It's thick.
Quilt.
Put the camera up, fool, for something to jump at you.
What the hell?
That's dust or something towards me.
Oh my God.
Yo, it's a whole other room.
What is? Like a...
Oh, what the heck? What's that moving back there? Yo, what the frick? I thought someone was back there. Oh, there's somebody sitting on the bed. They were like this. Y'all saw that? There was somebody on that bed sitting on the edge. What the freak of nature? Did you see it? Look. Whoa.
This is a merman from the ocean. He kind of reminds me of Japanese sushi. Perhaps I'm just hungry. I haven't gotten sushi in a good while. Once, when I lived in San Jose, I went to the largest of sushi restaurants, which was nearby me. There were tables upon tables of different kinds of sushi to get. I wish I could...
Yo, what if mermaids did look like this, though? Like, oh, dang, y'all look nothing like how I imagined.
...convey how immaculate this place was. And the place was really packed. Whenever I get sushi, I always think about what it was like eating there. It really felt like a dream.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, this ain't no mermaid. This is an alien of the sea, man. This is an alien of the sea. Or a merman. It's the alien of the sea, bro. Think about it. What if aliens are in our oceans and this is what they look like? They caught one. They thought it was a mermaid, but nope. It's alien.
Anyway, I'd eat this merman.
This... If this is real, which I doubt it is, this got to be an alien. Cause I doubt God would make something and put it on planet Earth that look like this.
Would be like a dream too.
Right, guys, so just to address a few clips that are going viral on social media right now. First, our response to that big incident in Bayside Marketplace. What happened was there was about 50 or more juveniles that were shooting fireworks. There was also some looting going on, so officers that were on that scene were having a little bit of trouble containing it, so they called what is called a citywide 3, which every officer in the city responded. That's why you saw so much police presence for that call to contain that crowd. Now, there is now video going viral of 8 to 10 foot aliens walking around Bayside. It's actually just a person walking with a shadow. So I can confirm to you all here today right now that there are no aliens in Miami, in Bayside Marketplace, at the moment. So it's Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend and stay safe.
Now the hitting. I feel like something crawling my back. Love Shack. Oh, whoa. Oh, no. Ew. That's unsanitary. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. There's no way I'll be. And this man is just driving this car casually. How? There's no way. There is no freaking way I would be driving this car with a buttload of, with 1,000 bees just shaking like jello over my head. This man is crazy. Did he get in the car? Like, did they get in the car? This is the only way. This is the only way this could have happened. Both of them got in this car and sat down without knowing that the bees was up there over this man's head. Like, the person that got in the car that's filming right now, they probably got in the car and instantly looked at their phone. And then at some point they looked up and noticed the bees over this man's head. And unbeknownst to the driver, he probably don't even know that the bees is over his head right now. The person that's driving probably was logical enough to think, you know what? I'm not going to freak him out. Because if I freak him out, this is going to be a bad situation for both of us. So I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to keep recording because this is a great moment in history right now. And then when we get to where we're going, hopefully he doesn't notice when he gets out. He gonna get out and I'm going to tell him, hey, you won't believe this. Because think about it. I would not get into this car knowing that them bees are in there. And I doubt that they would either. They would probably try to get the bees out safely as possible first before getting in this car and proceeding down the road. I have so many questions. Oh, you know what? We're just going to end the video right here. Man, I would have loved the backstory to that video. Anyway, y'all leave y'all thoughts, comments, and opinions down below. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. See ya.